a little bit hard sometimes.
So today's a very big day. We're taking our first pregnancy test.
Yay!
Exciting, like we're so excited to have a baby.
How are you feeling?
To be honest, I'm quite confident that you either are or will be very soon.
When we first started trying, we never thought that this would be our story. We never assumed for a second that trying to conceive would be a journey longer than, a month. We just didn't have any inkling that we would take us over 4 years to even get to this stage. 4.5 years.
4.5 years
Yeah.
of trying to conceive. When we first started trying, we kind of went into it, I guess, just blissfully naive.
As any couple would, really. You don't go into trying for a baby with the assumption and the expectation that you're going to not conceive.
No, I weirdly, in the back of my mind, had a thought every now and then, I hope this goes smoothly, I hope we don't have any problems. But then it didn't bother me so much that I thought about it all the time that I thought we really would have problems.
And this time, it could be real because Beth missed her period. This could be it. Tension is real. Oh. But I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not convinced,
We'd been together for 4.5 years by the time we started trying. We were in a position where it just felt so right for us to build a family. We wanted a family from the start of our relationship. It was never a question for us. It was always we're going to have a family at some point. By the time we started trying, for us it just felt really right. Yeah, we were young, but that didn't bother us because we always wanted to be young parents. And it was our dream to have a family.
Yeah, and it still is our dream.
Yeah, and
it's not all over.
And it still is our dream.
Yeah,
But
we're just 4.5 years in.
Okay, here goes.
I'm gonna pull a couple more back in the toilet now.
Yeah, you do that. Might just be too early to tell, but yeah, so we'll have to keep trying.
So the first year was kind of hard, especially at the end, but we also knew that it could possibly just take a year. Occasionally for couples it just takes a year, and also you can't go to the doctors and ask about all this different stuff until it's been a year, so they don't actually see you. So we kind of had that in our mind as a finish line almost for us to be able to seek any kind of advice.
Yeah, but also because of the stage of life that we started trying at, we were well, thankfully we do have time.
Yeah.
Also, we should be really fertile at this age anyway, so it's bound to happen at some point. Let's just keep going. And yeah, it's painful, but it's bound to happen. When you start trying, you're so set on building a family that you just don't even stop to consider that it's not gonna happen. For me especially, coming to terms with the fact that this is our story and it isn't just kind of this fairy tale, oh, we met, we got married, we had kids, we had the house, we had happily ever after.
That's the thing, you kind of feel like you're in denial some of the time that this is happening. It's oh, it's fine, it will just happen the next month, it's no big deal. It's just easy to kind of push your feelings aside until you begin to let them out, and then it gets flipping real.
Yeah, definitely some times where it got really real. It's not that we lost hope and faith that we were going to have a family or that we wanted a family. Our desire didn't change, but the emotional toll of taking test after test and it just not being positive.
It sounds dramatic, but it literally felt like every month we were mourning the loss of a child, especially because my body was doing strange things at the time as well. I was missing periods over 4 weeks after my period was due. I was still there was nothing happening, and we're this is strange, we've been trying and stuff, my periods have been missed, I'm feeling weird, what's going on? I know there was definitely months where we were this feels like I'm pregnant this month, and then my period would come and it would be a really bad heavy period, really painful. We were just a bit confused. Am I miscarriaging? What's happening? We don't really know anything. Oh man, I'm so sure I'm pregnant though. I'm so sure I am.
Well, you've missed your period, so that's a telltale sign. Well, next time I guess.
When's it gonna show up? so many nights where we were like, well, especially me, I was just crying my eyes out, just like, what's happening? Like, what's wrong? Why isn't this working? God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Just so confused, just feeling like really helpless.
We haven't taken one in ages, actually. It's been a bit discouraging sometimes. How do you feel about it this month?
I don't really know, because the other months I've been like, oh, I really think I'm pregnant because I've missed it by like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't want to speculate anymore.
Yeah, let's find out. Oh.
Ah.
Bit of a shame. Oh. That's alright. Keep going.
It's just taking such a long time, which is annoying and like hard. You think it will happen like quite quickly. A lot of our friends have got pregnant recently because it's just different for everyone.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Like, as a husband, for me, in our relationship, Beth's always been a lot more in touch with her emotions and able to express them. And for me, I kind of went into like shut off mode. I tend to just go into protection mode and like, I want to look after Beth, I want to comfort her. This is her body that's going through all these things. And the pain of thinking you're carrying a child and then not carrying a child, I can't imagine what she's going through. I just want to not think about how this is affecting me as a potential father, but actually just kind of like dive into like protection mode, which has like a... Oh. Okay. You did really well. What are you sad about?
Are you joking?
But right in this moment, what is it? What you're feeling right in this moment?
Digging back through the like raw pain that I was feeling during that time. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like I got to a point after I'd done all the crying and stuff when I just felt so like numb. Almost like I'd just resigned myself to the fact that this may never happen. When I know, like in my heart of hearts, I don't believe that's true. I believe that we will have children. It's just hard.
And so it got to a point where we kind of stopped taking pregnancy tests. We were doing it because we didn't want to put ourselves through the pain of like having to like get us hopes up and then having them kind of destroyed. And it was more like, well, even if Beth's missed a period, is there even much point in going to the shop, getting another test, like just to go through the whole thing again?
Yeah.
And so we kind of just didn't test for like ages. Beth's periods would come and go. It would just be like, well, that's it then, you know, another month. It's an element of control. I think in a situation when it gets that painful, it's like, how can I at least control the narrative a little bit? Which isn't healthy, but it's like, it gives you at least a little bit of like...
You feel like you're protecting yourself.
Yeah, I'm protecting myself a little bit from emotional pain. There were even months where we used condoms again because we were just like, at least we can control the narrative this month. At least we know we're not going to conceive and we can kind of just go through our normal routine of life, live a bit naturally, give ourselves a bit of a respite from the process.
We went to the doctors once, maybe 1.5 years into trying, but then we didn't really follow it up just because we kind of just wanted everything to kind of happen naturally.
Yeah, because also we were younger. We knew that we were in a fertile time of our lives. On paper we should be conceiving, and also I think it's just quite isolating. Like for the first year or so we didn't tell anyone, not even our parents. I think the reason why we even recorded some of the clips in this video when we actually recorded them was because we wanted to create a video of our trying to conceive as a kind of celebration, and then
catch ourselves getting a positive pregnancy
and
test,
then being able to like surprise our parents, and it all being like a really nice like fairy tale kind of thing. But it turned into more of a journey. It was only after about 1 year that we told our parents that we were even trying. Even now, like, only a very close handful of our friends know, but it can be quite isolating.
Surprise, rest of our friends.
But yeah, it can just be quite isolating to go through something like that.
Because infertility is not a topic that's often spoken about. It's made to feel like it should be a secret. I think even like the fact that, you know, when you're pregnant, you wait to tell people after, you know, however many... 3 months. Just in case you have a miscarriage. All those things about keeping it secret, as well as like infertility, it's such a private subject, it's so like personal, like it's emotional. You're just made to feel like it has to be on the lowdown.
Yeah.
We wanna bust open that by doing this this video. If you want it to be like that, then all means like keep it to yourselves. But I think there's so much joy and support and freedom in talking about stuff that's hard to talk about, because it helps other people know that they're not the only one, that helps them feel supported, like they're in a community and that we can all help each other out, and that it doesn't have to be such a secretive thing. So hopefully this will like help some other people to feel like they can talk about it, because it's okay for you to talk about it, even if you cry like I did just a couple minutes ago.
So now that we're a bit further on down the road of trying to conceive, it's kind of plateaued out emotionally. We can still access those emotions. It's really important to
I mean, that's the first time I've cried about it in quite a long time.
Yeah.
I've felt it, and I've had like tears spring to my eyes sometimes if I like see a cute moment between like a mother and a daughter or a son, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But like, it's the first time I've proper actually like cried in a little while about it.
In the moment, we didn't really want to talk about it like this because it was so raw. And like now, obviously, we're still trying to conceive. We don't have a child yet, but I think our motivation for this video and just where we're at now is like, why wasn't there a conversation or
and why did we feel like we couldn't be supported?
And that's you know, it's partly our journey of like isolation and rejection and things that we're going through in life, which everyone I guess has their own story. Just having a safe place and cultivating an environment for a trustworthy conversation about real issues is something that we've like decided that we want to use this story for.
Completely,
Otherwise it really is sad. Like, it is really sad. My mindset, and obviously we're different, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to waste these feelings and just kind of package them up and let them go. I want to utilize what we've been through, otherwise it's in vain. You know, we've had conversations privately with people that we know on social media and like face to face about their issues and stuff like that. It's becoming more like we're still trying to conceive, we still feel those feelings, we still have that same desire as we had at the start, but we feel a lot more empowered about the situation we're in to talk about it and to just create an environment and a safe place.
And also to bring awareness to the narrative around having children and just being aware that it's not just a given for everybody.
In terms of our emotional state right now, I still feel that pang, like Beth said, when we see families. It's not from a place of like, oh, I'm so jealous and envious. It's like, it's like, oh, that's so beautiful, and I can't wait till we get to experience that together. And I don't want to lose faith that we'll ever experience that, because I truly believe we will. It's almost like a respect. Like, I have such respect for parents. I've gained such a deeper respect for my parents and for Beth's parents just through going through this experience of trying to conceive. We've learned so much, which obviously we wouldn't have learned if we hadn't have gone through this journey. It's a shame we have to learn it the way in which we've learned it.
But it's kind of sucky.
It's definitely made us feel a lot more empowered about the life we live. A lot more thankful for the family we do have, and a lot more appreciative of all the blessings in our lives. It's been a really hard place to get to, because the depths of the pain we felt when it was at its lowest was really, really hard.
Even as a marriage, for us to go through something like this together, it can only make us stronger if we choose it to. We could have chosen to let this tear our marriage apart. In order to be able to become closer together through it, you have to allow yourself to be completely and utterly vulnerable in front of your partner and throw yourselves at each other and God, because it's so easy to isolate yourself in your own pain. But when you share your pain with another and work through it together, then that's a really, really beautiful thing and can only strengthen rather than destroy.
So we're sharing our story as part of Infertility Awareness Week. We do want to raise awareness of the fact that fertility isn't a given, unfortunately, and that there are a lot of couples going through this in silence. If you have been touched or moved by this story, make sure you subscribe to our channel to follow our Trying to Conceive story. We'd love to be a safe place for any conversations you want to have about this topic, so make sure you comment down below or message us on our social media platforms. We'd be more than happy to like have a conversation, talk more about our story and support anyone who needs it.
We will also be doing updates every now and then on our journey specifically, and kind of the medical side of things and the tests that we're going through. Just look out for when we put up those updates.
So make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who you think it may benefit. We will see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.